today we are going to set up a habit tracker inside of Tana, and we're going to use command nodes that are attached to our day super tag. So this is going to be very beginner friendly, as the other video that I did certainly was not beginner friendly. But yeah, let's go. There are 4 main bits to this setup, or 4 main parts. The first, we're going to add our habits to the daily node. Then we are going to create the actual command nodes. We're going to then add those command nodes to our daily node template. And the last thing is we're going to create the actual monthly habit tracker that we will be able to use to see all of our habits and the totals for the month. So the first thing, we're going to add those habits to our daily node. So we want to navigate to the day super tag, and to open up the super tag configuration panel, we can right click and click configure tag, or we can do command shift and click on the actual super tag and it will open up as well. So we're going to go to the content template. And in the default content box, we're going to create a new field. So we type the greater than sign to create this new field. And we're going to write our habit. So the first habit I'm going to do is write. And we're going to repeat that for each of our habits. So the next one I'm going to do is read. And the last one I'm going to do is read, floss. Yep. So those are the 3 habits that we're going to be tracking in this example. Now you'll see that we have the habits coming up here on the day node, but we want to hide that. To do that, we want to click on the actual field button for each of the habits, scroll down and scroll to hide field, and we want to click always hide. And when we close that down, we'll see that it's hidden now, and this is it here. So we'll just repeat that, hide field always, and for floss as well, hide field always. Great. So we have our super tags, our fields attached to our day super tag, and that's the first step done. Next step is to create our command nodes. So the first thing on the daily page itself, I'm going to create a node that's titled My Tana Commands, and click enter, click tab, and that's going to nest every node or all the nodes that we create under the My Tana Commands. This is just so that it's easy to find if you need to find it to add more commands, or you can even apply a super tag, like whatever your default super tag for notes is. That way you'll be able to find it. But for now, just type My Tana Commands, create a nested node, and then we're going to open the command line, that is keyboard shortcut Command and K. And then we're going to search for convert to command node, but I'm going to type command, and then we'll see it here, convert to command node. And the next thing I want to do is I want to title this command. So you can write, for example, right here, the words, but I'm going to use emojis. So I'm going to use this one for write, and I'm going to close that down. And next, where we see this type at to insert command, where we see this little prompt here, we're going to select or type at, and then we are going to select set field values. Once we have that selected, add our configuration, and where we see the word empty, I'm going to go ahead and insert a field here by typing the greater than sign, and then I'm going to start typing the name of my habit. In this case, it's right. So this is the name of the habit in the day tag. So that's what's showing up here. Right, day. And then where it says empty, in this node right here, adjacent to the right, I'm going to type the number 1. And what I'm doing here is I'm telling this command button that when I click it, I want it to insert a 1 into the field for right. So yeah, I'm going to close the configuration, and then I'm going to repeat this for my other 2 habits. So just right underneath here, Command K, convert to command node. I'm going to give this the emoji for read, which should be a book. At set field values, add configuration, create a field, and this is going to be read in the 1. That's how you know it's the correct one. And then I'm going to put 1, close configuration, collapse that, and then the last one, we field first, and I need to find a tooth, the tooth emoji, to floss. And here is when I will type at set field values, add configuration, create the field, floss in the 1, go across to where you see empty, adjacent to the field name, and put 1. And that's it. That's all the commands that we have to create. All right, so we have our commands. The next step is to add our command nodes to the daily node template. So I'm going to open up the super tag configuration by doing Command Shift and clicking on the super tag. And I am going to scroll to the bottom here where it says AI and commands. And then scroll down to this command palette. This should be empty. I was doing some testing, so that is the deleted node, but this will be empty if you're setting this up for the first time. Inside of the box, we are going to reference or add these commands that we have created here. So I'm going to do at, and then actually, I wonder if I can copy these. It might be possible to copy these directly. Yeah, that works. So you just highlight, select, put your cursor on the first node for the command, and then drag down, click Command C to copy, and then you can paste that in here. I was going to add them manually, but this way is much faster. And you know that it's inside and it's working because you see these 3 buttons appear at the top of next to your D tag. And that's it. Our commands are added into the day super tag. On to the last step. This is going much faster than I thought. On to the last step, create our monthly habit tracker. So I am going to close down this and close down this. So a monthly habit tracker, I'm going to title this very aptly as monthly habit tracker. And then I want to give this an icon, which will be a little month here. All right, now I'm going to do this here. We want to nest, so create a node nested inside of this monthly habit tracker. And I want to title January, essentially January 2025, all the way to December. Now that we have all of our months titled out, make sure that your cursor is on January, and let's open up the command line. So that's Command K, and go to Find Nodes. We want to find nodes with the tag D. So we click Enter, and then select the first one that comes up, Find Nodes with tag D. All right, so now you'll notice that you have every single node here for your entire vault, your entire graph. So we need to open up the query editor. So to do that, I'm going to do Command Shift and click on this, or you could just click, don't right click, just click, and then open the query editor, and that opens it up. I just usually use the shortcut because it's faster. Right, now that we have our query builder open, we can enter our search query, which is going to filter all of these dates for it to just be January. So to do that, let's create a field using the greater than sign and type. So we're going to use a system field here, and this system field is called date from calendar node. Another way that you can have that come up inside of here is by, I'm just deleting this to show you the other way, is by going to system fields here and then selecting date from calendar node. It brings it up in the same way. And we want to add our date. So click on this little icon, which is the choose date, and remove the day. When you remove the day, it just make sure that the month is selected. Click OK, and then click done. And you will see that all of January from the 1st to the 31st comes up here. Now, what we want to do is click the View Options button, and then we want to select Table. And this is perfect because we already can see that our fields are here. So we have January here, and essentially what you would do is repeat this for February. I would do this like going along the months, but you can do it all at the same time. So find nodes with tag day as lists, and you see you can do it very quickly. It's not like it takes a lot of time. So date from calendar node, go across to the icon, head over to February, and remove it, and then click OK. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I want you to show that not all of the days. Why is January showing up here? Clean up. Okay. Clean up. Right. So not all of February is here. Why is that? So what I did in Tana, like the day only comes up if you've already opened up the day page. So if I click, so as you can, I would have gone through January and just clicked. But if I go to this date picker here, I select February 1st, you'll see that as I continue on throughout February, so I'm going to go all the way to the end of February, and right, so that's February. If I go back to today now and I open up my monthly habit track and I go to February, you'll see that all the days are populated. So that's just a little thing like how the days work inside of Tana. But we're going to go to the view options, click table again, and we'll see that we have our habits here. So let's test this and make sure that it actually works. So I want you to see it. So I'm going to open up January 2025. We are currently, today is Saturday the 4th, and I'm going to click on the right button and a 1 should appear in that column. Yay, it works. And then the same with read, the same with floss. And even if I go back to the previous day and I click them, right, and I go back to where I would have created the monthly habit tracker, you'll see that all these habits, all of the ones are here. Now, the last thing that you can do is we want to have summations for all of our days so that we know how many times we completed this habit for the day. And it's going to show up at the bottom here. But how we do that is we right click on the field, go to calculate, and then click sum. And you'll see we have 2. Let's say I go back to January 2nd and I click on right, and then I go back. You'll see that the 1 is here and we're now at 3. So it's just a matter of doing this sum, right clicking right clicking here, going to calculate sum, right click, calculate sum, and you'll see the summations at the bottom. If you do want to have like an overview of everything, I can only think of manual ways to do that right now, but at least at the end of the month, you can definitely come to the bottom here and see how many times you did that particular habit. What I would do is drag this across to the sidebar to pin it. So what that would look like is just opening up your sidebar and dragging this across here. That was the previous one. This was the previous one. Yeah, this is the one that I deleted. But yeah, so you'll see that you'll always be able to look at it. And the last thing that I would do is to view this as a side menu. That way you don't have to keep expanding and collapsing the nodes, but you can just click on wherever you need to be at and see the summations at the bottom for each of your habits. So that is how you set that up from start to finish. And there's a blog post attached to this, which also goes through the whole process step by step. I hope this was helpful.